Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Katie if you're new here, hi. If not, thank you so much for popping on and welcome back to my channel. You may notice I am not in my usual spot. I'm filming from my place of work. I've been very busy, so I've not had much time this week to film, so I am filming here. Kind of filler video this week. I have been very busy and the places that I planned on going this week were to drive to, but my partner's been really sick, so I've not been able to get to the places that I've planned. So today's video is going to be a filler episode, and then next week I'll be going back to my proper filming and I'll have some great videos planned for you in the upcoming weeks. So today I'm going to talk to you about when I went to LEEDS CAT CAFE a few weeks ago. I went with my mum and I had a lovely time, but I want to tell you a few things about the cafe and the pros and cons, and if you're like me and you love animals and love cats, then it's great, but there's also a few things to note and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I'm going to roll some of the film and let you guys see what I did there, and then I'll speak to you about the pros and cons at the end. Okay, so here we arrive at the Kitty Cafe in Leeds, and it's just an 8-minute walk from the train station. When you go into the cat cafe, there are some house rules, which are all pretty standard to be honest. Don't feed the cats, don't pick them up, don't wake them up if they're sleeping, don't run or carry hot drinks, and don't push cats over. This cat here is called Crinkle, and he is a Scottish fold. This cat was by far my favourite. She was called Bonnie and she kept following us around for attention, and she was just so affectionate and sweet, and if I could adopt a cat, I would totally adopt her. I haven't actually mentioned yet, but all the cats at the cat cafe are available for adoption, so if you're looking for a cat and want to help rescue one for a good home, then this is a good place to go. I also love how this cat cafe is set out. There are so many cat climbing frames, toys, things for them to do, and you can tell they would never get bored. This cat was super tiny and she was called Opal. I looked on the website whilst I was there to make sure I knew all the names of the cats, and unfortunately they hadn't updated it, so it was all super old and none of the cats that were online were actually in the cat cafe. So unfortunately I only knew 3 names, so I can't tell you the rest of the cats' names. Bonnie was an absolute angel, and I really hope she finds a forever home soon. After our time slot in the cafe, we decided to have a little look around Leeds, and we visited the Corn Exchange again. There were lots of quirky shops, including an independent bookshop, a stationery shop, and a shop all about Yorkshire. On my train journey home, I was stuck at Hebden Bridge for around 2 hours because all the trains were delayed, but I made it home eventually. Okay, so that was my little video of the cat cafe. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to get more into the details now about the pros and cons. I've wrote a little list. So the first pro I want to talk about is, of course, if you love cats, it is a great place to go visit. I love cats, my mum loves cats, we went together and we just had a great time because of the cats. Anywhere there's a cat, we will go and we will love it. So if you love cats, it's definitely a great place that you should just go visit and just do it once in your life. Go to a cat cafe, go see the cats. It's really cute and fun. Another pro is that the coffee and cake was quite nice. So I had a coffee and I rated it a 4 out of 5. It was an espresso and I really liked it. I didn't get a cake, but my mum said her cake was like a 5 out of 5, so I take her word for it, and I think that it is 5 out of 5. The reason I didn't get a cake is because there wasn't many vegan options. There was only a couple, and I didn't really fancy those options. The next pro is that the atmosphere was really cozy, the chairs were comfy. Because you have to phone up and or go on the website and book a table, because they can only let a certain amount of people in at a time, otherwise they'll stress the cats out. So they give you like a time slot, they get you in at a certain time, and then there's not many other people in because of the time slots. So that's quite nice actually, it's quite peaceful. You're not like overwhelmed with other people or like running around like trying to fight over the different cats that you can stroke, because it's quite quiet. When I was there, it was a Tuesday, so it's probably not as many people as there would be on a weekend, but on the Tuesday there was like 5 other people and the place was quite big, and we all had time to stroke the cats and play with them. Another pro is that it's easy to find. It's not far from the train station in Leeds at all. It's an 8-minute walk, and it is right in the centre of Leeds. There's so much other things to do around the area, so you could really make a day of it. So I have like a pro and a con. So the pro is that the staff were friendly enough and they were nice enough, but the con about the staff is that they didn't go into as much detail as I would have liked about the cats. I asked a lot of questions like, what are the names, like tell me about this cat, and at this cat cafe you can adopt the cats when you're there, so I kind of thought that they would give me a little bit more information to try and get me to adopt a cat. I wasn't going to adopt a cat, but I could have been, and they didn't really go into much detail. They didn't seem that bothered. I kind of felt like if you work at a cat cafe, you would be passionate about cats and want these cats to find a good home and would want to share more details about the cats. So that's the only thing I would say about the staff, is that I kind of wanted more detail about the animals. So now we're going to do a few cons. So it's expensive to get into the cat cafe. It's £8 for an adult, and they call it a welfare charge. So it's like for the cat's health and like vet bills and that sort of thing. And I understand that completely, but £8 felt like a lot to get in, especially when you only have an hour slot. So you only have a time slot of an hour, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually not. If you go in there to see the cats, you want to spend a lot of time there. And I didn't feel like I got enough time. I think £8 for an hour was a little bit expensive. And then also the coffee and cake and the food there was also quite expensive. The coffee that I got, the espresso, was £3, which is quite a lot for an espresso. And the cakes were like £4.50. Food in general was like £10 plus, even for like sandwiches. So I think the prices of like getting in there and eating there was quite a lot. So another thing that is a con, but like nobody's fault I suppose, is that the cats were like very uninterested. Now I knew this would happen. I've been to a cat cafe before in Manchester, and I was so excited. I think I was only like 18. I was really excited about going. And then when I got there, the cats were like just not bothered. I didn't get to stroke any of them really. They were just asleep or like didn't want to talk to you. And that was quite kind of annoying at the time. So this time around I knew more about it, and I knew that that would happen probably. And apart from the one cat that was really, really, really cute and would really want attention, called Bonnie, the rest just didn't care. And it kind of is just a bit like of a downer. Like when you get there, you're like, oh, all these cats, and none of them want to like talk to you or play with you. So that I also think is kind of annoying, but they're just so used to people. They see people all the time, every day, and there's nothing you can do about that. They're just so not bothered by people anymore. So that's not a con really for the place, like they can't help that, but in my opinion it does alter the experience. The last con on the list is that you don't actually get to choose where you sit. You get a table assigned to you when you go, and luckily, well not luckily, but my mum is really short. She's like 4'11". She keeps telling me she's not, but she definitely is. And she couldn't reach the floor on where we sat. Like we sat on a sofa and she couldn't reach the floor. So we asked to move and they said that was fine. But if we could have reached the floor and we could have been comfortable, then we would have been sat in a really not a nice area. We're like sat around the corner at the front near the door, and you didn't really get any cats around that bit. So we decided to ask to move further back towards the back of the cafe where like all the cats were. And they were like fine because we couldn't sit at the ones at the front, and that was great. So if we didn't move, we would have had so much less of a good time. It would have been so much more boring because there was no cats there. So that's another thing to keep in mind, that maybe if you do go and you get put in an area you don't want to sit, just maybe ask them to move if you can. Make up an excuse. In my opinion, it's worth the visit. Go to a cat cafe at least once. I think it's worth a visit and it's worth the experience. because I think if you don't go and you really want to go, you'll be thinking about it forever and being like, I really want to go to a cat cafe and see what all the cats are like and stroke all the cats, and you won't know until you get there what the experience is like and that most of the cats aren't bothered. I think it's only a one-time visit kind of place. Like I said, I had fun. I enjoyed it. For me, the pros outweigh the cons just because I love cats. Thank you for watching this video. I'm sorry that it's a little filler episode, and I'll definitely get back to filming in a few weeks. I have so many videos planned and I have some really cool places that I'm going to be going to soon. So please stay tuned and I will see you soon. Have a great day, and let me know in the comments if you've been to a cat cafe and what you thought, or if you want to go to a cat cafe. Bye!